Morning. Today is day 30th on the new episode of Twilight Zone. I don't know if a lot of young people know exactly what Twilight Zone is, because I've been referencing Twilight Zone a lot lately. Twilight is a show that used to come on back in the days about alternative reality. Alright? Has all kind of episodes about alternative reality. It talks about different concepts, anything like, alien abduction, ended up in different space and time. If you could go back in history, ended up drinking and in a car, and you ended up being in a dollhouse. I mean, they had haunted stories, scary stories, but it was alternate reality. His name was Sterling, I believe, and it was an amazing show, and I used to watch it 24 hours. It used to play 24 hours. Hey, how are you? 24 hours on New Year's Eve to New Year's Day. I love the show. I recommend it highly if you find it. Watch all the episodes. I believe I watched every single episode in my entire life, and I love it. So we are now in Twilight Zone. So today I'm going to take us away to another episode of Twilight in regards to different content creators fighting over P. Diddy, Puff Daddy victims, which is the most craziest thing. I think it started around, before Thanksgiving, but it came to head on Thanksgiving. First of all, I want to say that I've made several posts and videos about P. Diddy, several lives. I believe my lives started before Cassie lawsuit, but it could be in alignment with Cassie lawsuit. Casey lawsuit. I've actually done several lives about sexual predators. So please go back if you're interested. Go back and watch them, because I think they're all still public. So now I'm watching, and I'm seeing different content creators are fighting over Diddy alleged victims. Now it's clear that there is Diddy is in jail. Okay, we know this. It's clear that Diddy was denied bail 3 times. I was outside of the courtroom all 3 times that there was a hearing down here to make sure that I capture the moment. You guys can watch that also. So I was out there, and I saw, I don't have access inside the court. I only have access outside the court. And the first time that I was out there, I met a male victim of his that says that he was shot at. Diddy almost killed him. And I have the video of that. So, and the gentleman has a book in which he wrote about what happened to him and everything like that. So we have that. So I've met in person an alleged victim of Diddy. Okay. And the guy that was outside the courtroom was very, very passionate about what happened to him. He told the whole story. Again, there is a clip. I have it online. Please go back and check it out. It was outside the courthouse. And he says that the same lawyer that is in Texas that says that he has over 200, I think, victims, is going to be his lawyer in the case. So I get it. Diddy has a lot of lawsuits against him. There's a criminal case against him that is in New York, right? We know that the prosecutor has stepped down, right? But the case is still ongoing. We know that he was charged with racketeering, with prostitution, with kidnapping, etc. It's very easy to go online and find out what Diddy was charged with. Now, one of the things I found out in court is that the prosecutor was fighting very hard to keep Diddy in jail because of witness tampering, right? His family was fighting very hard to get Diddy out of jail. Also, Diddy was fighting hard for freedom of speech because now there's a ban on what he could say. There was several conversations that what the family was doing on social media and trying to send out his videos and stuff like that and celebrating his birthday, etc., was witness tampering. So when they say they want a complete ban, they want a complete ban on Diddy until his trial. And of course, the trial is on May 2025. So we have all of that, right? These are concrete evidence that can be found online. If you're outside of the courthouse, you could hear the lawyers when they were talking, because initially his lawyer spoke several times. I have a video of his lawyer speaking about how prior to Diddy getting arrested, he came to New York about 6 months earlier, I believe, and he went through a series of seeing mental health. What did he say? He said that he was seeing a professional and was working on his mental health. That was his phrase, right? That could be heard directly from his lawyer. Now, after another hearing, there was a prosecutor that was like, Diddy's doing the best he can in the facility, but it's difficult for him, etc., etc. All of this are actual videos of people that's directly connected to his case, right? And what the judge is saying and the lawsuit that is being like. You saw the hearing, right? The press conference, not the hearing, the press conference from the prosecutor where they lay out all of their initial evidence and why they have decided to indict Diddy and put him in jail. I say all this, and I'm gonna say this. One of the people that was on my comments says that I need to stop talking about it because I'm too old. And no, in fact, I'm not too old to talk about it because, first of all, I'm an advocate. Period. Across the board. My biggest, huge pet peeve in life in general is sex predator, and finally, it takes someone that's older, possibly, maybe, to actually talk about this without all of these sensationalisms. Who could actually just say, in everyday terminology, Brooklyn terminology, what the hell I'm seeing directly from the courts, from the document that I'm reading, without sensationalizing anything. So all of this stuff is happening, and I'm paying more attention to the election, what's happening. This is day 30th of the new Trump regime. Even though Trump is not in power, he's still controlling things right now. And this is not a conspiracy stuff I'm talking about. This is just what it is. Because if you look and see all the cabinets he's putting in, all the changes that's going on in the world, and let's not even talk about the United Healthcare killing of one of their CEOs, assassination in New York. Have you ever? We've seen a lot of shooting and killing in New York anyway, so it's not the first time we're going to see people get shot up in New York, because they do have videos that they share online. It's very rare where you see an assassination attempt of a powerful white male in New York like that. Some people have the nerve to start talking about online that, this is Diddy, I'm going to pause on Diddy, this is Biden world. No. We need to just start recognizing things for what it is. Right now, we are transferring powers right now, right? We are transferring different powers, different government powers. The Biden administration is still working, but they're transitioning to the Trump administration. How is it that in 4 years there have not been, at least in New York, I know that there was a another powerful man that was killed in San Francisco. I believe it was San Francisco. He was the owner of a big company, but they said they aligned him, the killing, with someone that he knows very closely, and there was some allegation that he was seeing that person or whatever, but I don't know. I never really followed up on the story. I'm just putting it there, but that's the only story that I've heard. But to have, and that was a stabbing, but to have somebody come out like that and do a Gestapo type assassination on the street like that, is with a silencer. Wow. I think it's just the beginning myself, but who knows? Who knows? But I think that there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be happening right now that we have never seen before, because we're in a new world now. A lot of people are emboldened. They feel they could do what the hell they want to do, and it's just going to get worse. That's just, again, that's my opinion. That's my little piece on the CEO United Healthcare. I'm waiting to see if they capture the person, to see who the person is. It's crazy. But let's get back to the content creators. So the content creators are fighting over Diddy's victim. There's several victims, and I looked up this morning, because all you have to do is go to Ford. All you have to do is use Google. You see the names of the different victims that are, and there's one Jane Doe. And I think they're fighting over the Jane Doe. Who is the Jane Doe, right? That is in the picture with the D&G t-shirt. I think they're fighting about that. There's also a Jane Doe that's laying on a table. That they're fighting about. But either way, there's several different alleged victims that came out with some extraordinary, and I would say extraordinary stories. And I've heard some of them, and I'm not going to even repeat them. People are fighting to see who's telling the truth. They're fighting to say that these people are now have managers. And now they're fighting and conspiring against each other to find out who's the true victim, who is the liars, etc., etc. The most interesting part of it is that there's a name of someone who comes up over and over and over again, and that person's name is Jaguar Wright. Jaguar Wright name has been coming through the circles for many, many, many years, because Jaguar Wright was one of the original whistleblowers when it came to Diddy and other Hollywood hip-hop artists of fame, and she's been alleging that they been doing these type of actions for many, many years. Right? So we have that, right? So now, so I want to know something, because you know something, I'm just one of those curious people, right? How in God's name are all these content creators, right, fighting over victims? That's what I want to know. I want to know, how come content creators are now coercing, maybe paying for victims to come to their platform? I want to know why. What's the point? Is it because content creators, you know, obviously content creators want to have, obviously, they want to have their views up. They want to have the subscribers up. The higher your views, the more money obviously you're going to make, you know. Other content creators just want to be able to have their say, create a world where they could, you know, express their ideas. They want to be entertainers. There's a lot of stuff. But what I want to understand is, and I know all of this, I want to put that aside and say, why would the content creators of today use a very important historical crime to play games with? That's what I want to know. Why are we playing games with this case? We saw what happened with R. Kelly. And I'm not even going to touch on Michael Jackson because, first of all, I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, and I will do that even though I can't stand. I will never respect Janet Jackson again, day of my life. I don't care what happened with Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson will never have my respect again, ever in life. And whoever, y'all probably know why and understand why. But Michael Jackson, I was a huge fan of Michael Jackson. He passed away, so God rest his soul. I'll leave it there. So everybody know what happened with R. Kelly. They played around with R. Kelly case so much that R. Kelly was found innocent in his first trial when there was evidence of him allegedly, it wasn't even, there were evidence of him peeing on a young girl. It came out to be the true story. It wasn't his brother who did it. It was R. Kelly. It came out. The girl aunt came out and said that it was R. Kelly. The girl, I believe, eventually came out as an adult and said it was her. Okay, and there's this bodyguard that apparently went to school with her the other day, homie, a CC homie or something like that, that says yes, he went to school with the girl. So there's a lot of people that's talking about this. So R. Kelly ended up being found innocent initially because of these Hollywood games that is being played and perpetrated. Sorry guys, here come the fire department. Give me 1 second. Thank you for being here. I'm not sure how many people are here. If you are here, please like, subscribe, and share the channel. So R. Kelly was found innocent the first time he went to trial, just because of these at the time it wasn't social media, it wasn't it was more Hollywood, it was more fan base, right? Social media did have a thing to do with it, but social media wasn't as expansive as it is now. But it's as a result of fans and because of this campaign of supporters of R. Kelly, he got away with it the first time. He could have got away with it a second time if there wasn't so much evidence. If the reverse didn't happen, where they had movies and that showed the victims, that gave them the platform to tell their story, and it was so consistent throughout that. And also the evidence, obviously, because the movie itself, etc., wasn't allowed in court. But there was so much evidence there, and I think the movie and the documentary helped the prosecutor find what was happening, the consistency with the victims, in order to make a great case. So I think, yes, I personally think that documentary, social media does impact everything in life, right? Because it tells a story, right? If you could tell a story, then you could have a case, right? You could make it easier for somebody to understand what's happening. That's just my opinion on it. So I think social media does impact. I think fan base impact. I think documentary impact. Everything impact because it's life, right? Let's put it there. So finally, R. Kelly went to trial. He was found guilty. He's now in jail. So now we have Diddy. I think the fact that the video came out about Cassie, right, also led credence to him being indicted, because it showed that he was violent. Okay, they have proof, they have evidence. Now you see it on social media, you see it all over the place. It's like, okay, we have something to indicate that this is the guy that Cassie said he is. Okay, we have that. So the play is there. The man is in jail. He have 3 failed bail hearing. And the most interesting thing that I keep saying is that the judge that denied him the bail hearing the first 2 times is no longer in charge of the case. You have a completely new judge who denied him bail. Okay? So we have this, right? I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. So why, with all of this, right? We have the case, we have the press conference, we have the hearing, we have the lawsuits, we have 2 judges who denied Diddy bail, because if you read the bail hearing, the judge determination, he has proven that he is witness tampering, right? He is a danger to community. That is what the judge said the last time. Again, I was outside the court, right? I heard what the reporters were saying outside the court. Afterwards, that was the second bail hearing. The third bail hearing, there wasn't a hearing, but I did get a copy because someone sent me a copy of the determination. All right? Everybody knows what's going on. So I'm saying to myself, like, if everybody knows what's going on, and there's factual, I don't know if I should say evidence, but okay, factual evidence, right? If we want to use the court terms, right? That is there. The judge determination is there. You have the lawsuits that is there, right? You have video evidence there. You have that he was denied bail 3 times because he's dangerous, right? You have all of that. Why can't the content creators create content with what's available, what's there? There are legitimate victims who submitted lawsuits that you could pull out, right? And make content from that if you want to. And content, and I'm saying it respectfully, is what I do, which means you could report on those things. Why are all these content creators fighting over 3 to 4 alleged victims? Some of their stories are so elaborate, and now I'm hearing that these victims are being managed by a content creator, right? Who is now in a conspiracy to badmouth the other victims, right? As far as Jaguar Wright, who I mentioned earlier, Jaguar Wright had the high and the lows, meaning that initially she was known as the original whistleblower, but as a result of conduct on social media, as a result of hearings and people exposing several different things going on with her as a result of family members' issues, she has been downgraded, right, as a conspiracy person. She lost her channel several times, etc., etc. She got into wars with several content creators who were supporting her at one time, and now she's back up again. And now, as a result of Diddy being in jail, people are paying attention to everything that she has to say. She's back up again, and not only is she back up again, she is also choosing sides. And what I find interesting about Jaguar is that she goes to different people's lives that talks positive about her, because there was a person that was speaking, and I don't know if that person is still alive. She has an interesting accent. I'm not sure if it's African accent, but it's a young lady that's talking about it now, where she is one of the people that's against another content creator, and Jaguar is on her live giving her a lot of, kudos and respect and thank you, and I love your commentary and you're great. And then I saw something where Jaguar Wright is not only going to different content creators, but she's actually rebuilding her platform, because she's back on YouTube, rebuilding her platform where she's having experts and she's having Zoom calls, and she's having seminars, and she's having guest appearances. So she's rebuilding her brand, right? Because again, at one time, she was all really high up there as far as knowing the dark life of the hip-hop community and the very wealthy and the very rich. But then she started to unravel, according to several content creators. There was a lot of conspiracy conversation. There was a lot of family drama with her. And then her credibility fell down. And now it looked like they're trying to build her credibility back up. And I see all of this in play. But she's one of the biggest conspiracy person when it comes to hip hop and these predators. But then I started seeing 3 more. And I just don't understand what's going on. I mean, like, I don't get what's happening. We have legitimate victims out there, and we have legitimate documents. We have legitimate documents. Y'all gonna play around, and y'all gonna give Diddy an out. Somebody said that maybe it's Diddy that's actually sending some of these victims out here, or alleged victims out here, in order to muddle the case. It's an interesting concept. I don't know. But what I do know is that there is not that much. There shouldn't be that much money out there, right? To make people play around with this particular case. There shouldn't be that much money out here, that much need content creators to have subscribers and have money, etc., for us to mess around with one of the biggest case in our lifetime. Because it's not just about Diddy, it's about the victims, it's about the survivors, but it's also about other predators that's out there that is waiting for the other shoe to drop. We need to get those other predators. And these content creators are going to mess around, and they're going to mess around with these cases, and they're going to have this case dropped. They are not only fighting with the victim, they're fighting with each other. It's the most insane. They're doxing each other. They're calling each other names. They're talking about each other's sexual habits. They're calling families, which by the way, that's brilliant in my opinion, to be honest with you. Because a content creator that called a family member, I don't know, I wouldn't have done it, but hey, that's an interesting take. Why are we doing that to victims? These particular victims, I don't even know if these particular victims, one of them I believe did have a lawyer and the lawyer dropped them. The other one is looking for a lawyer. We have legitimate lawsuits that's been filed in court. We have legitimate victims that has filed lawsuits that is seeing its way through the court system. Why don't we spend the time to concentrate on those victims? There's enough content there. Pay attention to the judges, the different decisions that the judges are making. Wait for the hearings. See what's happening with that. Why don't we do that? You guys are gonna mess around with this case. You guys are gonna cause this case to be dropped. You guys are going to ruin this case. That's all I have to say about it. I can't believe it. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I just keep shaking my head when it comes to this world. This world is insane. What are we doing? I don't get it. I don't get it, people. What the hell are we doing? I haven't heard anything new in the Diddy case besides the bail. His bail has been denied because as a result of him being witness tampering. I'm still waiting to see if the judge decide to allow the prosecutors to use the note that he had, that Diddy gave to his lawyer, that the prosecutor felt was witness tampering. The fact that, you know, one good thing about the prosecutor, they were able to prove that Diddy did witness tamper, so this is why he's still in jail. So we have that. And I haven't heard anything else is going on. I think we're just going to have to wait. I think there's been some conversation about trying to move Diddy from this jail to another jail. There's been some conspiracy conversation. Some of the people who knows Diddy back in the days are saying that they don't think that Diddy is going to be around if he stays in that particular location, because that's where Epstein was. You know, but this, again, all of this is conspiracy. I'm just mentioning, I'm not saying either way whether it's true or not. So I'm just going to wait myself to see what happened next with the Diddy case. In May 2025, I plan to again be outside the courthouse to see. One of the things I have to say is that almost every family member, all his children, his mom, baby moms, they do go to court whenever there's a hearing to show support to him and stuff like that. They are united front there. They feel, I'm guessing they feel that all the allegation against him are lies. I think in the case, Diddy case, he's not denying that there's been some freak off, but he is just saying that, you know, it's been consensual. And according to one of the reports, he also have witnesses, meaning former sex workers, who says that they're, especially Cassie, she was a willing participant. So that's where we are. So we have to just continue to see what happened with the case, read up on it, see who else file lawsuits, who else submit paperwork. But one of the things I have to say is that these people are going to F around and they're going to get this case dropped. That's how I feel about it. All right, guys. Thank you. Whoever's here, thank you for coming. Please like, subscribe, and share. All right. Take care. Bye. Bye-bye.